Okay, we're here to talk about Casino.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right. So you had told me that you watched this movie kind of a lot as a child.
Yeah.
And I want to talk a little bit more about that. We're here to do some inner child work. And I just want to know how that happened.
Yes. So, my auntie owned a video store.
Love.
In Denver, and we just watched all movies all the time. Also, there was a language barrier. Like, my mom and my aunt didn't really speak English, so they didn't care what we watched. Like, they never censored us.
Amazing.
They loved Scarface.
Wow.
Like, that's still my mom's favorite movie. She's a mess.
Does she watch it with subtitles or no?
No.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
She just she got it, I guess. It's
yeah.
a lot of violence.
Yeah.
But I remember that was the first movie that we saw that was like super violent. So everything in comparison to like sawing a man in a shower was like tame.
It's absolutely tame.
Yeah. So we would watch The Exorcist a lot. Like,
oh my God.
I don't know why a lot, but just a bunch.
That's a really long movie for a kid too. Like, that's the part that actually really like baffles me, is that
We
as a child you sat through.
But we didn't
that
have
movie.
like other things to like preoccupy ourselves. So we
Right.
had this huge TV in the back of the register, and we would just like put movies in all day.
Yeah.
And then we'd like be checking people out. So we just sit there and watch movies, eat lollipops.
Of
like,
course.
Stuff that kids do.
Yeah,
Watch
kid stuff.
Casino and, yeah.
Okay, so when we say kid, like, how old were you? when you
Like
saw this
7 or
movie?
8.
Oh
yeah.
my God. Wow. That's
Like
amazing.
very small. But my sister who's 5 years older than I am, she was like 12, so maybe they went off
Yeah.
like whoever the oldest one is, that's how mature they all are.
That's definitely the way that my parents
Yeah.
approached movies as well. Like, did I see Casino at 7 or 8 years old? No. But my sister, she's 4 years older than me. So like when my sister was allowed to watch PG-13
So were
movies,
you.
I was allowed to watch
Yeah.
PG-13 movies, because like, what are they going to do?
They're gonna
Separate us?
Yeah, no,
No, of course not.
Yeah, so we would do that. I like wonder if I was desensitized to stuff, but then I remember
Sure.
like I also watched The Lion King and I cried. So
So look,
normal kid,
normal kid stuff.
Yeah.
Everyone's fine and so
everyone's
normal.
fine. Yeah,
I read on Wikipedia that this movie is in the top 10 movies with the most frequent use of the word fuck.
yeah.
Some sources say it's the 8th, some sources say it's the 7th, but
What's number 1?
Wolf of Wall Street,
Wolf of Wall Street. Yes,
another Scorsese.
I love that movie.
I do too. It really bums me out how that movie became something that just really douchey people were like, oh, he's a hero.
Yeah, like bros co-opted
Yeah.
that mentality.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I hate it.
Then that sucks.
You
But
didn't learn your lesson.
excuse
That's what
me. I didn't
That's what I
learn.
get, yeah.
Yeah, that is annoying. But what can you do? When you put art out there, people are going to co-opt it.
Yeah.
They are, especially the bros. So, okay, your history with this movie, it runs deep. It's been
does
many
run
years.
deep. I love mob movies. I love
Yeah.
Scorsese.
Yeah.
I never had a Scarface poster, but I could identify with people who hung one up.
Absolutely.
Like I would never do that.
Yeah, but you are maybe the type.
I'm
that
the
would.
type
Yeah.
that would see it and be like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. You walk into a dorm room and you say,
This guy knows.
this guy knows
Yeah.
art.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay, good.
I
good,
would
good.
love like an interpretive poster of a
Yeah.
mob movie, like a cool one, but no,
Yeah.
not like the straight up movie poster.
Right.
Those are horrible.
Yeah, I get that. I think that is really like a millennial's dream, those like redesigned, reimagined movie posters.
I have so many favorites on Etsy.
Oh my
that,
God. Yeah. My entire Etsy favorite section is just like all of those.
Yeah,
Yeah.
super bad for sure. I have like a lot
Oh,
of favorited
cute.
super bad
Yeah.
posters. I'll never buy.
I
but-
got my dad one for Pulp Fiction. It was just like an outline of the two dancing.
Oh,
Yeah.
See, that's cute.
Isn't
An
that cute?
interpretation.
Yeah.
yeah.
And it's not like
It's not douchey.
it's not douchey. It's not like Uma Thurman smoking the cigarette movie poster in like my 6-year-old dad's
That
home
says-
office.
That says film to me, you know, and the
Yeah.
other one says movie.
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So let's talk about this movie and how it connects to us as as young women. Do you like Vegas? Like, are you a gambler?
I fucking love Vegas.
Me too.
I love how like grimy it is.
Me too.
I love that you could do anything at any hour.
Absolutely.
I eloped there with my husband
Wow.
and got married.
Well,
yeah,
congratulations.
it was fun.
That's really fun.
One of the things I really wanted to do was take pictures in front of the flamingo because that was the Tangiers.
Yeah.
So we did that.
That's so
Thanks,
fun.
Nick. Homie.
Thanks, Nick.
Yeah, he took pictures for the wedding. That was it,
awesome.
just the three of us.
Oh my God. That's so cute.
It was really fun.
Wow. So you could say that Nick was your best man.
He signed. He was like the
the witness?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So
Wow.
yeah.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah, obsessed with Vegas. Love it. Yeah.
Yeah. I was just at the Flamingo 2 weeks ago.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I love the Flamingo. I went to, we went there for RuPaul's Drag Race Live, which was really, really fun. But we had missed our dinner reservation at another place. So we actually ended up eating at Jimmy Buffett's Margaritaville for dinner at the Flamingo. It was fine.
Yeah.
It was, we were in a booth that looked like it was on a boat. And morale was kind of like low at that point in the night because like we had a hard time checking into our hotel and we had missed our reservation.
God.
And then by the time we got to Jimmy Buffett's Margaritaville, honestly, like the absurdity of it really turned the morale around. Like once we just accepted like we are at Jimmy Buffett's Margaritaville, it was kind of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone ordered a cheeseburger in paradise and a perfect margarita.
I love that.
Yeah. So anyway, the
cool.
Flamingo. Shout out.
I love the Flamingo. And it's like so pink and still very like 80s.
Yeah.
Also 60s vibe. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. You could even say it's kind of a 70s vibe as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of split the difference.
Spans time. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I love that. And we stayed at the MGM.
Oh, cool.
And then this last time we stayed at the Bellagio, which was like the bougiest.
Ooh, fun.
One. That was really fun with the fountains and stuff. And I was like, we could do cocaine all night and like gamble.
And
we didn't. We just went to sleep.
But that's the fun part is that you could have.
You could.
That's the thing that I like is options. Yeah. You know, just to know that you could if you wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's really fun. I love it.
Love that.
And just like going to dinner and being fancy and like, I love dressing kind of slutty and like where everyone else is also dressed slutty. Yeah. Not that like I'm, attention on me. No, everyone's doing it.
We have all collectively decided that we're going to be slutty.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of Vegas.
Dress like, wear crazy heels and stuff like that. Yeah. It's
absolutely.
Really fun.
Oh my God. Okay. Speaking of dressing up in Vegas. Yeah. The costumes in this movie.
I love them.
Oh my God.
I have something to add about that. So
okay, let's talk about it.
The budget was $1 million for costumes alone.
Yeah. One
of her dresses, I can't remember which one, but I remember knowing it weighed like 80 pounds or something.
Oh my God. Was it the gold one maybe?
I don't know. It had like a bunch of stuff on it, like just very heavy.
Yeah.
And then there's this clothing line, a new clothing line in the last like 4 or 5 years that it's called Oceanus Swimwear. And it's made of like all these little crystals and like rhinestones, stuff like that, and it's like really cute swimwear. And I remember thinking like, this reminds me of Ginger from Casino.
Oh my God.
And then last year I read an article, they interviewed them and they were like, yeah, it's literally inspired by Ginger, like
shut up,
in Casino. And I was like, what?
That's so cool. And you
can't afford
that.
It, but
well, of course. we have to hustle a little bit more. We have
but I'll send you the link so you could look through their stuff.
Right.
It's really cute.
Oh my God, cool.
But it's very like,
I love that.
Very Ginger and Casino. And I would love an outfit and then like wear it in Vegas.
Oh my God, of course.
Just cosplay,
just cosplay as a showgirl who hustles,
a hustler. Yeah.
A hustler. Anyone can do it. Yeah. So I love that. The possibilities of Vegas.
Yeah.
Beyond just Ginger, I mean, obviously she's a style icon, but I love how these super machismo men wear the most like flamboyant, bright colors.
Yeah.
And they kiss each other on the cheek.
On
That's
the
one of my favorite
sometimes.
things about machismo culture is the kissing.
Yeah. They love to kiss each other. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's so funny and fun.
I do love Sam's salmon when he's getting blown up.
Oh my God. Yes. It's a perfect way to start the film. I mean, not just the blowing up, because it's very, what it's really giving is White Lotus. where they're like, there's a murder.
Yeah.
I mean,
and we're gonna figure it out.
This is all leading up to a car blowing up, you know?
Yeah.
Even though, because it is based on a true story, I don't know. That's one of those things that kind of, I can't really decide where I land when, if something is based on a true story, do you still have to say like spoiler alert before you reveal something about what happens in the story? Or when people talk about like a documentary, a docuseries, a true crime docuseries, and they're like, oh, I'm not going to spoil it for you. It's like, but if I Googled it.
That's literally why I'm watching this, because I know what happens.
I know what happens.
Yeah.
So you know what? I'm really glad that they started off the beginning with a little bit of intrigue, a murder, an attempted murder.
Attempted, yeah.
I had forgotten that he didn't die. When I was rewatching this, I was like, oh yeah, he dies at the end, but he didn't. Yeah.
Nikki does. Real hardcore.
Oh,
but he had it coming. He's the fucking worst.
Oh my God.
Nikki didn't really have a lot of fun suits.
No.
His was always gray and always like
it was always kind of boring. We think that Joe Pesci was wearing a wig, right?
Do you think so?
I think so.
I don't know.
Do you think so? Okay.
That was 95. When was Home Alone?
91.
Okay, he
90?
must have been wearing a wig then, because he was bald in that, and then he wasn't in this.
And then he wasn't
he
in
grew
this.
a bunch of hair.
Yeah, you know, it's happened to many male celebrities.
That's true.
Before.
They grow hair after they go bald.
Grow hair after they go bald.
No shame though.
Yeah, seriously, no shame.
Yeah, his clothing was a little bit drab. I do love all of Sam's suits.
Obviously.
I wish her wedding outfit was better.
What? I loved the wedding outfit.
Isn't it just a little suit?
Yeah, it's a Chanel suit. Like, it's a little like...
I just wish it was more like a dress.
You wanted it to be like a gaudy, like
big... Well, not long, but like mini for sure. But like definitely like puffy or something.
Okay, yeah. You wanted it to be a little bit more Italian-American wedding.
But now that I'm thinking about it, maybe it looked like a business suit because it was more of a business.
It was a business transaction.
So true.
Their
marriage. Oh my God. We're thinking like executives right now.
Oh my God. Here's the thing. When they are... When Sam is proposing to her and she's like, I don't love you. He doesn't miss a beat saying like, it's fine.
It's fine. You're hot. Let's go.
Yeah, seriously. And she's like, okay.
Yeah.
But the thing that is unsurprising about her as a character is that really behind every powerful woman is a man who cannot take care of himself, who she needs to save, you know?
Was that him though?
No, her ex. Her ex.
Oh, I was like, Sam?
You're like, no. Sam? No, he was doing his own thing.
What was it? Buster, what's his name?
Lenny?
Lester Diamond.
Lester.
Yeah, Lester.
Yeah, in real life, his name is Lenny. They did a really, really close name transition there.
We should touch back on that because I'm not sure why they did that. But anyway.
Why they did what?
Like, it was based on a true story, but then they changed everyone's names. I forgot why they did that.
I don't know why they did that either.
Like, I don't know.
But, I don't know.
Yeah, Lester Diamond.
Yeah.
Who's such a piece of shit.
Oh, God.
And so ugly. And I was like,
I know.
I would love to marry Sam Rothstein and get these furs and this closet.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, and that is the thing, though. Like, how many, like, gorgeous, smart business women do you know who are still dragging along their dead weight? You know? They're, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, can you name one? Like,
I mean, in my
personal one?
Oh, not in a famous one, but in my personal life.
I'm trying to think of like a famous one. I can't.
I mean, there's got to be plenty.
Maybe that was like the wave of feminism.
Maybe.
Just wash that out.
Washed it right out. So, okay, here's why I think they changed the names of the real life people when they made this, is probably because they made enough departures from the true story that they had to make them more like characters.
Yeah.
You know, like for instance, like they actually had 3 kids, but in the movie they only have 1 kid. And there's like, you know, just small, but they add up enough that I think that probably
they could take that freedom.
Yeah, they could take a little bit more freedom if they give them different names.
Yeah.
I don't know. Scorsese, let us know.
At Scorsese.
Yeah. 100%. So
I know the premise of this podcast is like what didn't age well. I will say, of course, the excess of their lifestyle, like all the diamonds and the furs and the PJs. Yeah, that's a private jet.
For all you poors listening, that's private jets.
That did not age well, and I would like love to have that lifestyle, but not in 2024, because like right now it's like eat the rich, and it's like,
for sure,
I would love to do it in the 70s where my carbon footprint wouldn't really matter.
Yeah, and if you're Taylor Swift, you don't have people who like are tracking your flight information, which should be public information anyway, but that's not why we're here.
So the excess didn't age well, for sure.
But at the same time, I think because it is a period piece and it's sort of like showing what that excess lifestyle was like and how ultimately it was rotted. Yeah. I don't know. That's really when I am contemplating this idea of like, does this movie hold up? Does it age well? It's hard to really land on an answer because it is almost a period piece within a period piece, because it's set in the 70s and early 80s, but it's also made in the 90s. So there's very much like, it's very 90s and very much like the era that it's in. Yeah. And so it's hard to say like, oh, well, it doesn't hold up, or like you couldn't do that today, when it's like, well, yeah, because this is a movie about the 70s.
The 70s.
Yeah, totally.
The machismo for sure.
Oh, of course. Yeah. But it's also like, I think that one thing that I kind of like about Scorsese, and what I think I don't like about the douchey people who often co-opt his work, is that these men, these toxic men who are just riddled with greed and are like, so, I don't know, they're just so toxic. But we are not necessarily told if they're heroes or villains. Like, we're just given a depiction of what their lives are like and the different demons that they're battling. So I think people may watch this movie and other Scorsese movies and say, oh my God, this mob boss is so swaggy, I love him. Yeah. And some may say, oh, this is a cautionary tale about...
I've never thought that.
You've never thought it's a cautionary tale? You were like, give me the furs, give me the diamonds.
It's just saying a story.
It's just like what it is.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I like about it, is that everyone can sort of, people are going to attach their own meaning to it, and that's showbiz, baby.
Yeah. Well, I'm never going into the mob, so I didn't think of it as a
I'm never going into the mob either.
We're both not in the mob.
That's absolutely not. Dude, IDK Studios is not a front. Okay.
I feel like it's just like a story of something that happened, and it's hard to call people heroes or villains when it's like their whole life.
Completely. When it's a true story, especially when it's like, this is not even necessarily just a character, like we're telling a story about these people who were not really good people. So not
really.
He
was
really.
A good father. He was a good father.
And he was swaggy, so that counts for something.
Yeah.
Also, a piece of good news: Sharon Stone said that a lot of her co-stars over the years were misogynist. Wow, shock, men in Hollywood. But she said that Robert De Niro and Joe Pesci were some of the good ones.
That is nice.
Isn't that nice?
I love hearing that.
She's like, these guys were not misogynist. Now, does that mean that they were?
Yeah. That's kind of crazy.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Speaking of misogynist, so Joe Pesci's character, Nikki, I wonder, the Short King stuff.
The Napoleon
complex. I think, it's the elephant in the room. It's the baby elephant in the room, something that we must talk about. I was really surprised that he was the muscle, surprised in the sense that, like, just based on physicality, he doesn't look like a club bouncer. He looks like Joe Pesci.
Just a smart mouth. I actually had the same thought this morning during a rewatch. I have a friend who's teeny tiny, and she's a Taurus, and I just have a feeling that Joe Pesci is a Taurus. Like, this character that he played as a Taurus. Yeah, she would always be the first one to like mouth off or like get us into bar fights.
put your head into a little machine and say squish them like a grapefruit.
Smash someone with a phone. Yeah, like I just feel like that's very Taurus energy, and maybe that's that character.
I think so. You know, and they do call out the signs of Sam. They say he's a triple Gemini.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a star.
I could see it.
Or something.
Yeah, right. I could see it.
I do think, big time Napoleon complex.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. And it must be addressed. It must be talked about.
Yeah.
I gotta say also just that I feel a little bit intimidated talking about this movie because I'm not a Scorsese expert. I'm not a mob movie expert. And I just want to say that for the listeners right away. When the Scorsese fans don't come for me. I mean, you can't, like, nice feedback is fine. Like, just a little like, oh, actually, you can give me an oh, actually, but don't say, wow, you're so dumb.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Don't be rude.
Don't be rude.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm open to feedback, but I'm not open to bullying. And that's that. Okay. The voiceovers is something that I think we need to talk about. For the first, 45 minutes, it felt like this entire movie was voiceovers, but we don't get Ginger's. Ginger doesn't get a voiceover. So we're never really like, I mean, we know her motives kind of, but like it's not expressed in the same way that Sam and Nikki get to express their motives. But at the same time, they're kind of unreliable narrators. So it's like, does it even matter? I don't know. But
good point. I would have loved to hear her voiceover, but women are silenced.
Well, so
and hers was very much reduced to like, what's the first intro line when she comes in? He says like her whole goal in life was money. Like that's so reductive of like who she probably was.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. I mean, did she love money? Yeah.
Yeah, money's cool.
Everyone does.
Yeah.
And especially in this movie, they certainly all loved money.
Yeah. They didn't get into mobbing for the friendships. I'll say that.
They didn't do it so they could with other boys. You know?
Kiss other boys.
Yeah.
So it's very reductive that she gets that line, and it's like this whole fucking business is money. So like, fuck
it
you.
is funny that he sees
I'm
that.
Getting mad.
You know what?
Yeah.
I need to stand up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think the narration was a little much for me. It was a little bit too much exposition. Like when I really was in this movie was when there was just a ton of dialogue between the characters, which doesn't really happen that much. It's a lot of narration, which
I was like, is the narration doing the heavy lifting in the movie? But then when I thought about it, I was like, I kind of want him to shut up, like, and just let us see it. Let the scene happen. So I think if you first watch it, you're like, does the narration ever stop? When does the movie start? Like, because when you think of narration, you think of it as introing.
Exactly.
And it was like 45 minutes of,
yeah. But if this was an hour and a half long movie, that would only be like 20 minutes of narration, which would still be a lot.
Yeah.
But because this is a 3-hour movie, they're like, okay, well, we can really amp it up.
Yeah. I wonder if he made it now, being that like people have access to the internet and can look up the story and stuff like that. He wouldn't even narrate that much because he just assumed people come in with that knowledge. And like before, we didn't have like Wikipedia.
Yeah, that's true. I think probably you're right that people, if they were watching this today, if this was made today, people would just have their phones open on Wikipedia, reading along with it,
about
right?
Or read the book. And even assuming someone read the book, you don't narrate that much. Like
exactly.
You don't. Yeah.
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 They say, show, don't tell.
They say that.
They say that. My professor said that in college. It said, show, don't tell. So there you go.
Yeah.
Okay. I had a thought when they were talking about, this movie is about, it starts off like about bookies and sports betting. And at the end of the movie, Sam's talking about how like Vegas has become like Disneyland and the mob's pushed out, but then like, it's more like corporate now, which is true. I just wonder, I don't know, maybe this is an entirely different conversation, but I was thinking, like, is DraftKings the new bookie?
I think about that all the time.
Yeah.
Like,
okay, I'm so glad. Yeah.
How is that a legal,
yeah,
thing? But
totally.
I mean, I'm sure betting is legal. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. But yeah, I think it has shifted to like online and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But with the Disney thing, with like Vegas turning into Disney, it did happen in the 90s where like Excalibur and stuff like that started popping up. And I follow this account on TikTok called @VegasStarfish, and she goes really into like Vegas stuff and how it's also shifting now to more adult like themes again. So it's like pushing out family stuff.
Yeah.
So I will say like the gritty, gross stuff is like coming back, which is cool.
Bring it back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love that.
Yeah. But that's a good observation. I do think like DraftKings is the bookies, but there's still mafia. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I Googled, is there mafia in Vegas?
You're on a list now.
Yeah.
You're in the what? The black book?
Yeah.
For sure. For sure. Going back to Ginger. So right away in the narration, we get like, she cares about money.
Yeah.
Duh. But I think that they also made it pretty clear right away that she's a smart hustler.
Yeah.
Like she's not dumb. She's not just a hot body. And I think the way that the characters treat her is often like, oh, well, you're such a pretty girl, you shouldn't drink like that. Not like you're like a person who should, have a chance to live and stuff.
Do something cool.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. But I think that as an audience member, we are supposed to see her as somebody who is more than just like a gold digger. Do you feel that way?
I think so. I mean, they also said she's like a survivor, and she was like in love with her pimp ex-boyfriend. So I think there's a bit of Stockholm there. So like, she is more nuanced than just saying she's chasing money. But I think the gold digging was definitely more of a survival thing. It wasn't like she actually loves all this stuff. It's like, I want to be secure.
Yeah,
like she's
totally
looking for security. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I think that like once she did get that security, she's like, oh, the furs are nice. Yeah. I like it. Duh.
And I feel secure in the fur.
Exactly. And I feel I have many layers between me and the cold world.
And the pores. Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. So let's see. I think, if Ginger's downfall is that she can't move on from her shitty ex, and she has this like soft spot for him despite the fact that he like doesn't deserve it. Sam, for a mob person, has way too much trust in her.
Yeah.
And why? Because she's pretty?
Yeah.
I don't know. But he's always like, yeah, I trust you with my life.
Why?
And I'm like, why?
Why? She literally told you she doesn't love you. She told you about this other guy. She called him on your wedding. Like, why do you trust this person?
Yeah.
I think it's a manipulation play. Like, he's like, I trust you so much, to like make her feel like change her mind into like loving him or something.
Right. Yeah. Even when she asked him for the 25 grand and he's like, I just need you to tell me because I need to be able to trust you with my life. I'm like,
you've been married for like 3 years now.
Yeah. Okay.
And then giving her the only key to the the box.
Yeah,
what is
totally.
it called?
The safe. Yeah.
I don't know.
The security
bank box.
The box with the jewelry.
There's a name.
It's
safety deposit box.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
At the bank.
Yeah.
Giving her the only key and then being mad that she
took it. The banker was like, I mean, listen, like the banker was a misogynist when he was like, yo, so you sure you want to give this to your wife? But he is like,
he was looking out for her.
I think he was going to look at it. He's like, wow, so you just want one key and you want to give it to her. Like no sweat, but most people don't do that.
Yeah.
So,
I will say, as soon as she got that mullet haircut, I would have been like, make 2 copies of that. Can't trust her.
Can't trust her.
Yeah. They did her dirty at the end of the movie.
Oh my God, they really did.
She ended up like strung out and like with a mullet. Yeah. Right? That sucks.
It does suck.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she died. So that part too.
It sucks to die.
It really does, especially when you're not looking your best.
Yeah.
So, okay. She like, I don't know. I find her to be the most interesting character. And I think she just is like I also think that Sharon Stone's performance is the best performance of the whole movie.
The whole cast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
She
what I
had to
think.
do a lot of emotion.
Yeah.
Her crying was really good. I really liked her depressive episodes.
Me too.
On the bed with like covered in jewelries and crying.
When the light is just like blaring on her, and I'm like, someone close the curtain.
Yeah.
This woman is in distress.
In pain,
yeah.
Yeah, she was probably the best. Did she win an Oscar?
She was nominated.
Who won?
I don't know.
That's crazy. Yeah, she was the best.
Yeah.
And then it was probably Joe Pesci.
Yeah.
And then Robert De Niro.
And then Robert De Niro. Yeah, I agree. I think that, well, I don't know. What was the name of the kind of incompetent mob guy who came and was like, he was like running his mouth at the grocery store, and he was like sent there to keep an eye on things, but he was just like not that competent. I don't know. He was pretty good.
I don't know. It wasn't Don Rickles, was it?
No.
Okay.
Okay. Some things that I think could have been maybe a little bit better in this movie, as far as like things that age well. Pretty much anyone who's fat, there's an opportunity to call him fatso, fatty, fat cat, etc. And yeah, I know that they're also saying like the N-word and the F slur, but but I was like, oh yeah,
like, that didn't age well.
Fat phobia as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of fat phobia.
Yeah.
A lot of like calling someone a Jew.
I know. Oh my God. So Sam early in the movie, he's like saying like, yeah, some white guy. I was like, oh yeah, this is before Jews were white.
Yeah, a lot of that.
Yeah, a lot of that.
Segregation
was
big in this movie.
Nikki saying things like, I know
Nikki
he's just
was
a
so
dumb
out of
Jew,
pocket.
but yeah, sorry. Let's please not cut this clip out of context.
Yeah, I don't claim this clip.
I don't claim this. Sorry. None of us do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was probably what I was like, oh shit, you can't
say that.
You can't talk like that.
You can't talk like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, it's like, I don't know. Is that the way that these people, these characters who are actually real people talked? Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they for sure talked
sure talked like that. But at what point does it get gratuitous? And at what point is it just like, no, we're showing you what these people are like, and they were shitty, you know?
Like their actions do that also.
Their actions definitely do that. So you saw this again. Let's circle back to the fact that you saw this when you were in elementary school. And
I really connected with the character.
Yeah, absolutely. I am curious, which of the brutality scenes is your favorite? What do you think? What's like your favorite violent action?
The one that made me the most uncomfortable, which I don't know if I have a favorite. Oh, yes, I do, I guess.
Oh.
When the guy gets caught tapping,
yeah,
and they're like, I'm going to break your friend's hand. He breaks his friend's hand. I thought it was fucked up that like he got away with it and his hands were fine and his friend was like all fucked.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
I know.
Like the 7-year-old in me was like, you should break this guy's hand also. That's not fair.
Right.
I didn't like that it wasn't fair.
You were searching for justice.
I'm
said,
like,
look,
I've always been pro-justice.
Absolutely.
So that was like my problem with that.
Yeah.
The worst one that made me so uncomfortable was like beating Nikki with a bat and his brother. That like, fucked me up.
I really I still cover my eyes.
I'm just like, fast forward.
I do this.
Yeah.
I do this when I watch it.
Yeah.
Sometimes I peek, but for the most part, I cover my eyes.
I would love to watch the behind the scenes of how they did that, because like the slobbering, the bleeding, the like limp body. I'm like, there's no way these guys are good. They got to get the shit beat out of them a little bit.
Yeah.
Probably not, but like,
yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. Was anyone harmed in the making of this scene of beating the shit out of somebody? No, literally beating them to death.
I stand by this, and I always say this. In scary movies and in dramas, I wish they would put bloopers at the end because, like,
I really needed that breath of fresh air,
especially with The Exorcist. I would love if that movie had bloopers,
a blooper reel,
just to make me more at ease as a 7-year-old watching it.
Of course, yeah.
And for this one, just to see like, oh, the blooper during the bat hitting scene would make me feel better that it wasn't real.
Totally.
Like, I think for a while I was like, Joe Pesci's dead.
He died.
Yeah. It's so brutal. What was yours?
I think that other than that scene, the one that disturbed me the most was when they're squishing the guy's head. When they say like squash him like a grapefruit or something like that.
They put him in the vice.
Yeah. I just was like, whoa.
They put ice picks in his balls.
Oh yeah, the ice picks in the balls. Fortunately we didn't have to see the ice picks in the balls. That was simply part of the narration. That's a part where I say tell, don't show, actually. We don't need show, don't tell for that part. I was glad that we were spared seeing the ice picks in the balls, which also, how do they find ice picks in Vegas? It's hot there.
It's hot there.
That's what I think. Oh yeah, the weigh-ins. Remember that? The weigh-ins of the girls, the showgirls.
That was so fucked.
Yeah, that was fucked.
What are you eating? What are you?
Yeah.
And he was like personally weighing all of them.
I know.
Sam Rothstein.
Yeah, and talking about them to their manager when they're like standing right there. Oof.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Different times.
Yeah. Well, I think they still. Well, I mean.
Is there showgirl shows anymore? I mean, know that there are.
Yeah, probably.
Well, Chris Angel did not use them, so I did watch Chris Angel's show.
Yeah, what other shows have you seen in Vegas?
Chris Angel. We saw Cirque du Soleil show.
Ooh, that's cool.
I forgot which one. Maybe Water or something.
Cool.
I don't know.
That's cool.
Oh, I went to see Kanye in 2016.
Oh wow! Okay.
It was a really good show. It was the last one before he started storming off
stuff.
No, he started like the next show after that is when he left the stage in the beginning of the show, and then the tour ended.
Wow! And like, you caught him at the perfect moment
before he began all that stuff.
Yeah.
So
that's amazing.
R.I.P. That's that's when he died for me.
That's actually when he died. That's when he was buried alive in Indiana or whatever.
Yeah.
What was it? Illinois. Yeah. Oh yeah, because I really like how they talk about back home rather than just like the place where it is. They're always saying back home.
Back east.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I kind of like that. And also the little subtitles of their code when they're like talking to each other and they're like telling us what they're saying. I love that. I mean, obviously I'm not really saying anything that unique here when I say, wow, Scorsese really did it. You know, he really did the damn thing.
He did it.
And these notorious, very talented actors really showed up for work.
These guys are good.
These guys are good.
They're the best.
You can quote me on that. These guys are good. That's my review.
They're so good. They get recycled in every fucking mob movie. Like all these guys were in Goodfellas, Casinos, Sopranos, and Irishman.
Yeah.
And probably some other like B-list mob movies that are not Scorsese.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I wonder. So when this movie came out, and Blow, of course. Yeah. So when this movie came out, people liked it, but a lot of people were like, yeah, it's kind of exactly what you did 5 years ago.
With Goodfellas?
Yeah.
That was way better.
I thought, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought so too. Then there are some people, especially internet people, who are like, no, this movie is still the best. Mm-hmm. It's like a totally different kind of thing. Yeah. I think it's like, I think there's a little bit of both in there. Like, I do think that Scorsese knew his lane and he knew what was going to be successful and he knew what he was good at. So he's like, okay, we're making another mob movie. Duh. But I think that it was different enough that I didn't feel like it was like, oh, it's Goodfellas in Vegas.
All the buddies from
Goodfellas.
Yeah.
Getting the gang back together.
Getting the gang back together. It didn't feel like that for me. Like, I could watch Goodfellas and Casino in the same day and like feel like they're different movies.
Yeah.
Especially because Ray Liotta wasn't in it. But
right, yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I think they're different enough, and even like the way they shot it, like it's very different.
Yeah, I agree.
gritty, and it's like more film in Casino.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's definitely more like capital F film.
Yeah,
that's what I think. Okay, I want to play a game with you. Okay. So this game is called Cancel or Callback, and this is typically, it's when listeners send us trends from the past, and you and I have to decide if it should be canceled forever or called back.
Okay.
But this one, I actually was inspired by this movie and my TikTok feed. And I think that we need to talk about canceling or calling back mob wife aesthetic. Okay. What do you think? Does it need to be canceled, or do we need to bring it back? Do we need to embrace that it is coming back, actually?
I think we embrace it.
Yeah.
But only vintage furs.
Bitch, I was just gonna say that. only vintage furs.
Only vintage furs.
Yeah.
Watch your carbon footprint. Like,
absolutely.
This is not mobsters of the 90s or 80s or 70s.
No. And honestly, we don't have the money to be spending that.
Yeah.
Like
environmentally conscious, socially conscious, mobster aesthetic. Sure.
Yeah,
but,
absolutely. Yeah. Because mobster aesthetic is famously known for being ethically sourced. And the money made to purchase those things also ethically sourced. So,
well, technically they did rob all that stuff, so like it's not like they were paying for these,
paying
like,
for it.
Yeah,
that's true.
I think that's more ethical, if anything.
You're right.
Yeah.
All right, so bring it back.
Bring
Bring back mob wife aesthetic.
I did see those videos of people being like, don't appropriate my culture.
My culture is not your costume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
If it was like Italian specifically,
right,
then sure.
But
like mobster, anyone could be a mobster.
Truly, anyone. And that's why we're here today, to say anyone can be a mobster.
Any race or gender. I mean, technically narcos are also mobsters.
They are,
like, that's a mob.
That's a mob. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Organized crime knows no bounds.
No gender, no race.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's open to all.
It's really inclusive. Yeah.
Big time. Yeah, big time. Oh, yeah, I also wanted to ask you, so Ginger, she dies of an overdose, and in real life, Jerry McGee, her death was ruled accidental, but there are many who think actually it was a mob that killed her. Mm-hmm. What do you think? Do you think it was accidental?
I think it was on purpose. These guys don't like loose strings.
Yeah.
They like to pop, just anything. So
yeah,
I think she got killed.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, she was down bad with the drugs and the drinking.
But they wouldn't just let her run loose like that with like 3 kids and like ties to everything that Sam did. No.
And later, I think it was revealed sometime in the 2000s that in real life, she and Lefty, who Sam's based on, were FBI informants.
I did not know that.
They were rats.
Yeah, they definitely got killed.
Yeah, they for sure.
Yeah.
Well, he died in like 2000. Let me see. He died in 2008 of a heart attack.
In jail, or like was he free?
No, he was out here. He was living, I think, in Southern California. You know how in the movie he goes to San Diego?
Oh yeah.
I think it was similar.
That's where he ended up. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if it was San Diego specifically, but somewhere in Southern California.
They're FBI informants. That sucks.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that they probably caught on to, but honestly, if they knew that she was an FBI informant, wouldn't they also know that he was an FBI informant? Or what do you think? Maybe
it's ranking know? Or like
maybe
they didn't know.
Maybe.
I feel like he would have covered his butt a lot. Like, you don't turn unless you know that you're going to end up okay.
Of course.
According to My Sopranos rewatch. Yeah. Currently. I'm just in the episode where like Christopher finds out about Adriana. So.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It's so juicy.
It's so juicy.
I love it.
So I feel like he would have only turned if he knew he was safe.
Yeah.
And if they found out she was an informant, they definitely killed her.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And it just, to me, it seems too easy that, I don't know, that they were like, oh, this woman, she does drugs. She died of an overdose, you know? Seems a little bit, it seems like
too easy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. Okay. Let's see. Is there anything else that we need to discuss about this movie?
Let me see.
Yeah. Check your little notes. I'll check my little notes.
I don't think I had anything. Except for like maybe, do you think Joe Pesci does have mafia ties?
I don't know. Joe Pesci, if you're a listener, reach out.
Is he alive?
Yeah, Joe Pesci's alive.
He was hanging on by a string on The Irishman, and that was like 2018.
I mean, you'd be surprised how long. Let's see. How old is Joe Pesci? He is.
He looked worse than De Niro,
81.
and
81.
I think De Niro's older.
Yeah, let's see. Robert De Niro
maybe height gives him more life.
Robert De Niro is 80, so they are just about the same age.
Twinsies.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks like shit then. Joe Pesci.
With Love and Light,
yeah.
You look like shit. But listen, we all age, and it's okay. Yeah. It's not beautiful, but it will happen. It will happen. It'll happen to all of us.
Yeah.
Sharon Stone aged pretty well, in my opinion.
That's because she left the business.
That's true.
Well, I don't think she left, but she definitely doesn't work in films.
Yeah,
as much.
She kind of, I would say she retired, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And good for her. Love that.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I don't think I have anything else to cover. Do you have anything else that you want to plug or point people toward, or just lessons learned, things that the listener should walk away with today?
Lessons learned. Go visit the Mob Museum in Vegas. It's really fun.
Yeah, visit the Mob Museum.
I actually do love that. I did go there.
Yeah.
I should go there soon again.
Yeah.
It's been like 5 years.
Yeah, it's time to go back.
Yeah. Cool. Learn your history.
And learn from history.
Learn from history.
Yeah.
Vegas has a lot of cool stuff that's like very historical, and now it's like hidden with new things that pop up, but like the history is really cool.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Also very violent, but
And is that cool? I don't know. That's up to you. Well, everybody, thank you for listening / watching, and happy Oscars Day. You're in the future and you actually know what happened, but we'll see if, we're just going to see what happens, but you already know what happened. I feel a little bit optimistic, but cautiously. So anyways, that's it. Bye.